Good morning. We're up in beautiful Muskoka region. We're at Lake of Bays Brewery with our friends. We're back. Yes, we're inside the brew house right now, and I am back with Darren, founder, CEO of the company. It's been a couple years.
It has been, yeah.
How are you doing?
Okay, a few things have happened since the last time you were
Little
here.
did we know COVID was coming down the line.
Yeah.
But the brewing kept going. The beer making is happening.
Exactly.
Probably had a busy couple of years regardless.
It has been pretty busy, yeah. We've made more beer out of this facility than we ever have.
I am sure. We all know about that, right?
Yeah,
The day drinking. But okay, so we're going to talk about all of that a little bit later on, but we're here, we're talking about making beer and the process. Obviously, we can't cover it all in a couple of minutes. Down the road, eventually people will be able to come and get tours in here and see how it's made.
Exactly, just like we used to before the pandemic. So
Sure.
right now we're still not doing them, but as soon as we're allowed to again, obviously it's a big part of what we do. We want to show people where we make the beer and how it's done. And so yeah, we're really excited to get people back in.
Now this is your brainchild from way back in your 20s, and now here we are. Let's talk a little bit about where we are right now and what's happening up here.
So we're standing on the brew house at the moment. So like it sounds, this is where we actually brew the beer. So we're taking our grain and our water, mixing them together, extracting sugars off of that, boiling it, adding in the hops, spinning out some solids, and then from there it goes down into fermentation where the magic happens and we actually add in the yeast and start to ferment the product.
So at what point in the brewing process does it where you get the different flavor profiles? Like how do you do that?
It comes throughout the whole process.
Okay.
So it's the choice of ingredients, it's how we handle the ingredients in the brew house, it's the choice of yeast to ferment the beer ultimately, and then some of the decisions we make in the fermentation process around the temperature and how long the beer spends in the tank.
I see.
Even things further down the line, how do we filter the beer? How much carbonation goes into it? So there's many places. It is, yes.
But you guys have so many different flavor profiles. We're going to get into that later on. Obviously, there's different styles of beer. And but one thing we have to tell people is we're here because there's a very special beer that you guys are releasing that we think our viewers are probably going to really like.
They'd probably be a little bit interested in it.
It might be popular. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to leave you with that. Come back and join us in the next half hour and we're going to tell you all about it. We're here at Lake of Bays Brewery up in the Muskoka region. It's nice and sunny out, but it's freezing. But it's warm in here, right, Darren?
There we go.
Because we're making beer. We'll be back. Good morning. We're back at Lake of Bays Brewing Company in the Muskoka region, and we told you we had a surprise for you, for all of our viewers, and here it is. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This has been a long work in progress. We're back with Darren. Darren, tell us how this came to be.
Well, so I guess we've been advertising on CHCH for years now. We find it's a really great way to reach our customers in the Toronto area.
Yep.
And so we knew that you guys had a new building that you were moving into. We knew it's your 70th anniversary coming up, and we thought what better way to celebrate that than with a beer.
Okay, grab one of those. We need to look at this up close, Darren.
Yeah.
So look at the name of it too. How did you guys come up with the name?
Well, we know that you're known for your news broadcasts.
Yes.
And so we thought, well, what better name for this beer than Top Story, right?
And I have to tell you, the can is so attractive too. I kept picturing the can was just going to be all black, and then when I saw this, I'm like, that is our colors. That's like the old color wheel. It's our cool logo. I mean, this is just very exciting. So we don't exactly know. We're going to tell you a little bit later on in the show when this is going to be released so that, customers can buy it, and it'll be available for anyone, but a special edition or a limited edition.
Correct, yes. We're only making a few hundred cases of it. It's going to be going out to grocery retailers and agency stores, some bars and restaurants just in and around kind of the west end of the GTA and the Hamilton area.
Oh, that's so cool. And the style of beer is?
It is we're calling it a Hi-Def Pilsner.
Hi-Def Pilsner.
This is, it's actually kind of a neat, newish style of beer that's coming out. So we would call it an Italian style Pilsner.
Okay.
So it's really light and refreshing. It's got a very mild body to it, really crisp and clean. But we dry hop it, so we actually add extra hops in the fermentation process to give it a little bit more nose, but it doesn't add bitterness. So it's a really nice, clean, refreshing
approachable
style.
for most people.
Exactly.
That's what we want to hear. Okay, coming up after this segment, we are going to go into the tap room and we're going to talk about all the different styles of beer. They have so many different flavor profiles, it's crazy. But the biggest news out there right now, the top story for today is CHCH has its own beer. Very cool. We'll be back with more. We got to forget it. We're backing up the production line here. Back at Lake of Bays Brewing Company here up in the Muskoka area, and we're back with Darren. Darren's pouring us a beer this morning. Thanks, Darren. And love hanging out with you guys. It's always so much fun, and we need to talk about the different types, flavor profiles, styles of beer. because we of course unveiled Top Story, the new CHCH beer that's coming out very soon. We're going to tell you about when. But right now we want to talk about everything that you have out here. Now you were saying the CHCH beer was a Pilsner.
That's correct, yeah.
And kind of a new style that you guys are doing.
That's right, it's an Italian style Pilsner. So this is a relatively new one on the craft beer scene. So think a really nice light body, very, very easy drinking, not too bitter and just a really clean, crisp finish.
Right.
But we add extra hops in the fermentation process. It's called dry hopping. So it gives it a really big nose, but not the kind of lasting bitterness that you would sometimes get from a heavily hopped beer.
Right, so we were saying a nice approachable beer for everyone, but literally you have a beer for everyone. As we look along the line here, I mean, this is a lot of work over the years, and really being in touch with your customers and knowing what they're looking for and what they like and what they don't like, right? You really have to listen.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and that is part of being a craft brewer. You've got to be continually inventing and continually innovating. Now, obviously, you tend to have a couple of beers that are kind of your mainstays that your customers go to.
So which ones are those?
So traditionally for us, it was Sparkhouse, the red ale, and that is still a big seller for us. But right now, actually, and for the past several years, it's been off the grid, our Hazy Pale Ale.
Okay, and tell me why. Why do you think people like that one?
Well, this is really on trend with a big, sorry. This is, it's really on trend in the craft segment right now. There's a huge trend towards these kind of tropical flavored, somewhat hazy appearing beers that are, they're IPAs or pale ales, but they don't have the same kind of bitterness that some people might have had trying those styles of beer in the past. So they're a lot smoother and rounder tasting, and then just this explosion of tropical fruit flavor on the nose and when you taste it. So we've had this beer out for a couple of years now. We actually developed it at one of our brew pub locations. That's how we do most of our product development, is we actually start at our pubs on a small scale.
Smart.
And then bring it up to full scale when we're happy with the response that we're getting on it. That's where this one came from.
Now let's talk about the one next to it right here, because this kind of came through, this is like a mystery beer.
That's right. So in our Christmas gift packs for the past 2 years, we've actually put 2 mystery beers in them. And so they're usually experimental styles that we're working on. We're thinking that this might be a direction we want to go in terms of a new product release.
Right.
And then we invite people who buy the pack to actually go online and vote on which beer they prefer. So this beer, Daydreaming, it's a tropical fruit infused pale ale, and it was the winner of our 2020 Christmas gift pack vote.
Wow, and so here it is.
And now it's coming out at LCBO.
It's really smart though, and rather than produce a whole pile of them, you might as well just see what people like, right? And then you know it's going to be a winner.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can have our own ideas as brewers as to what people are going to like, but you never know until you get it out there.
Of course, and there's just so many different styles. We're actually, you're right, in the tap room in Lake of Bays area, right? And Baysville, right? It's called?
That's correct.
And so people can come in and you can just buy right here at the counter. It's pretty awesome. And in the summer, you have a whole area outside where people can have fun. So we're looking forward to that as well. But of course, we're looking forward, Darren, to releasing our CHCH Top Story beer. And we're going to tell you about that coming up and how you're going to be able to get it near you. I know it's going to be, everyone's going after it, but it's going to be a limited edition. So
that's exactly right. Only a limited number of cases, and just getting it out to select retailers.
And then that's it.
That's it. That's it.
You think people will save the can? Or no, they got to drink it first, then save the can. That's what you do. All right, thanks again. Or buy 2 now, in case. That's it for now. We'll be back in just a bit. Well, hey, guess what? Our top story this morning is this. And we are officially live. I'm here with Darren. We brought you down to our studios, and you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of our new CHCH building that we've been, diligently working behind the scenes to prepare. Our studios are down the hall. We can't wait for you to see the rest of it. But right now, we need to talk beer. We need to talk about this because this is a release date. So last time I saw you, it was freezing cold up north in the Muskoka region, and you brought the cold again with you.
I know. I'm sorry. It just seems to happen.
Thank you. But it's so nice to have you here with us because we've been talking about this all morning and sort of the build up to it. And today's the release date.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So we're really pleased to have Top Story available at over 50 locations, all the way from Oakville around through Hamilton and down to Fort Erie.
So basically you looked at our overall viewership, and that's where we have most of the dominant viewers and in the highest population of viewers. And you said, we need to supply beer to all of these people.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So and we're really pleased with the results we were able to get. So we've got it in at Sobeys, Fortino's, Zehrs, Real Canadian Superstore, number of independent retailers, and it's either in store or shipping there right as we speak.
It must have been such a nice thing when you look back when grocery stores started to be able to sell beer for you. That must have opened up your world completely.
It was a huge change, yes,
Yeah.
and it's been really interesting to see how it's developed over the course of the past, 6 years.
Yeah,
At
it's
this
been that
point,
long
where
now, right?
It has. I know how time flies.
I
So
felt like it was like a year ago. But you know, COVID does that to you. So that's the exciting part. So we now can have that people can pick it up in all those different grocery stores you mentioned. People can go on to CHCH.com/topstory and they can look at all those different locations. But as you say, it's all the way around the Golden Horseshoe, all the way down to Fort Erie. And we have a glass poured here. So let's go back and talk a little bit again, the style of this beer so people can get sort of a flavor profile and idea.
For sure. So this is an Italian style Pilsner. It's a bit of a hot style in craft beer right now. So really think of it as a nice, light, crisp, refreshing Pilsner, but with a little more pronounced hop character just on the nose though. So we use a technique called dry hopping with this beer, where we add the hops in just in the fermenter and it allows a really nice aroma to come off it, but without adding bitterness.
And that's the thing, it does have such a nice color. It just says refreshing by looking at it. And I know we had taste tested it before when we were up at your facilities at Lake of Bays. And I mean, it is just really a nice, approachable beer for everyone. So we really appreciate your collaboration with us. This is all part of the new building, the new history that we're making here at CHCH. And it's just so nice to collaborate with Lake of Bays. So thank you so much. And I guess we should probably cheers on this one, huh?
I suppose so,
We
yeah.
probably should.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I've got my glass already. Beautiful.
All right.
All right. And we are heading out. I'm just going to let you pour as I'm cheersing.
All right.
Here's to CHCH and Lake of Bays, our top story today.